Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I guess I just wanted to show you how I transfer. So the first thing that I'm going to do is transfer with a board, and then the second one will be transferring without a board. So with my bed, it's just a little bit taller than my chair, so it makes the transfer a little bit harder. I'm quite tiny, so this is why most beds are too high for me, or too low that I can't transfer back onto my chair. So anyways, like the key point at the beginning would be to set up your chair so that you have like the least amount of space between the chair and the bed. So I normally put it about at an angle like this, then set up the brake that's closest to the bed first, and then push the wheel as close as I can to be tight to the bed, and then put the brake on the other side. And on my chair, I also have a little lever underneath that I just put down to prevent my wheels from rolling backwards. Because sometimes when the brakes get loose, like I've had it before where my chair starts to roll off when I try to transfer, and then I've fallen. So anyways, this is what I do now. So we're transferring with a board or without a board. I normally also have some blocks that I put down in front of my chair. These were just yoga blocks that I had prior to my injury, so I've just used this that I just keep underneath my bed to use. And what that basically does, it kind of like levels up the ground to prevent your legs from like dropping down. So it makes like the floor kind of like, I guess it makes it easier to transfer. Okay, so the first transfer is going to be with the board. So normally I'll have the board on the surface where I'd like to transfer. So there's the board that I use, and the board that I use is actually, this is the ADI, it's the smaller board. And what I liked about the ADI boards is that it's got, you can pick to have the slit going horizontal with the board, or you can have the split also going vertical. For me, I find the horizontal split is a little bit better. And they also have like a gripping tape at the end of it, so you can put the gripping part to the part to where you're going to transfer, which prevents the board from slipping basically. Okay, so the first thing that I do is normally I cross my legs to get the board underneath me, and that just helps to wedge the board a little bit better, I find, rather than trying to like move it around, especially with like without my hand control and stuff. Once the board's there, I can uncross, and then I also have the block at the bottom that just prevents my legs from like dropping to the floor. Okay, and then for transferring, the first thing that I'm going to do is shift my weight to the front of my chair, so I can start moving, building the momentum to start moving to the side. So to do that, like I normally put the hand either on my brake here, or sometimes depending on where I'm transferring on my seat as well. I find the brakes easier though with going onto my bed, so that's the way I'm gonna do it. I also try to bring my legs out, so it gives them more room to be able to transfer, I guess, be able to move around. So I'm just like shifting my weight forward. And then once I'm here, I'm going to start pushing with my left hand to go to the right, and pulling with my right hand to slide onto the board. I also kind of use like my momentum to do so, and then move my hand appropriately through the transfer to build some support, whatever support I need. So then I'll push up this hand to, and then twist around, move my feet a little bit so they don't get stuck into the foot place of the wheelchair. And then once I'm here, I'm gonna bring my knee. Oh, whoopsies! Not enough grip there. Bring my hand underneath. Use my tenodesis to bring my knee up onto the bed. Bring my arm, like I've kind of like bring my arm onto the other leg to kind of wedge my weight there, and bring the other hand onto my fender or the wheel if you don't have a fender, and then the leg out. This one, and then the same thing with the other one here. Use my elbow, like wedge my elbow onto my other leg, which helps to have a little bit more base of support. And there you go, that's transferring onto the bed. Now transferring off the bed. So same thing, I need to put the board, I'm going to bring my legs down first. And then put the board underneath me. So again, the grippy part of the board goes towards the chair. I haven't done this with a board in a long time. I'm gonna bring my foot to bring it up more onto the foot plate, make it easier. And again, like pushing with this arm and pulling with this arm, and then kind of like shifting, bringing my weight forward to shift my weight off my bum, and then shifting to the side. And again, taking the board from underneath when you're on the chair, and only cross my leg, and then wedge it off. Especially when it's got the grippy part and stuff underneath. And there you go. This is how I transfer with a board. Okay, and now transferring without a board. So basically transferring took me a little while. With a board, I don't even remember, like maybe a year and a half to really kind of master that. And then maybe it took me 3 years to be able to transfer without a board. And most of the, like I transfer on most places without a board unless the gap is too big. So anyways, it's just like time, practice. Also depends on like your level of function and your strength. Yeah, so transferring without a board. So again, I'm gonna bring my foot so they're closer onto the foot plate. Then put my hand on the brake and belt support with my hand on the bed, and then shift my weight forward to the front of my chair. And then pushing with my left hand and pulling with my right hand, trying to get onto the bed. And also kind of like shifting my weight forward, so to get my weight off my bum basically. And also trying to lift up a little bit to be able to make it onto the bed. And then I'll bring my hands behind me and start pulling. I do have a little bit of triceps, so it does make that easier to be able to do that. For people that don't have triceps, I don't know how you would do this. But the board might be a better solution for you. So then again, I'll set my left hand on my chair, and then use my right hand to put my legs up onto the bed. Again, put my elbow on the leg that's already on the bed. So straighten my leg out. And ta-da! That's how you do a transfer. Now transferring back. So again, it's just the reverse kind of thing, bringing my legs down. And making sure that I have like one leg on the foot plate, kind of like in the direction that you kind of gonna be sitting when you're on the chair. If you can, it makes it a bit easier. And again, like moving your weight forward, kind of pushing up a little bit with your right hand while you're pushing towards the chair, and with your left hand kind of pulling to go towards there, and then just use the momentum to transfer over. There you go, that's how you do a transfer. Yeah, and if you like the video, please subscribe to my channel. And if you have any questions or anything, you can always leave like a comment below, and I'll try to answer it as soon as I can. Have a great day, guys. Happy transferring.